In the last video we looked at linear sequences and the nth term for a linear sequence. We're now going to look at non-linear sequences, and just to make you familiar with a few of the quite common ones that would come up. The first one would be square numbers, 1, 4, 9 and 16. So you can see they don't go up by an equal step. However, if you were studying them, you would see they go up by 3 and then 5 and then 7, so you can work out the next one would be up by 9 and it would be 25. The nth term for it, remember n is the term number, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that you can see the connection, hopefully, for square numbers, clues in the title. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, and 4 squared is 16. So the nth term for that there is n squared. Less common, but could also come up, would be the cube numbers. So 1 cubed, and then 2 cubed, 27, 64, and so on. So the rule for that one, get n, cube it, 2 cubed, 3 cubed, 4 cubed, n cubed. So we've got n cubed for that. Now there are two sequences that are not linear, but you would be expected to know the nth term for them because you're just squaring the n or you're cubing the n. There might be some other non-linear sequences you wouldn't necessarily be expected to know the nth term for the sequence, but you should be familiar with the sequence 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21. I'm not going to write the nth term, you won't be expected to know that, but you should be able to identify that to be the triangular numbers. And quite common, a rule is to be adding 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. That might not start off at 1, but it could have the same idea. Now the sort of questions you would be asked for this objective would be maybe some, not as simple as just literally giving you n squared, but just some variation on that. Or combining some of the non-linear sequences with linear sequences as well. So let's look at a few examples. Example 1, find the nth term of 0, 7, 26, 63. My first step would be to find the difference and see if we can find a connection there. We're adding 7 the first time, then 19 the second time, and then 37 the next time. So that isn't overly helpful. There isn't a connection between the 7, 19 and 37. It's quite straightforward to see. It doesn't go like add 2 and then add 2 more. So what do you do when you're at that stage? Well, you've got to bring in prior knowledge. So I don't know what that sequence is, but it's actually very similar to this sequence here. We should be familiar with n cubed. It's 1 less than n cubed. It's easy when you're told, easier to see. So you should be familiar with these two sequences, so you can then use them to get this one. This is also n cubed, but it's 1 less than n cubed, so it's n cubed minus 1. Example 2, find the nth term of 1/3, 4/5, 9/7, 16/9. If we went down the route of finding the difference between these two terms, very awkward because they are fractions. In this question, it would be better to separate the numerators and denominators and look for patterns in the numerators and look for the pattern in the denominator. You should be able to see patterns there. So this approach differs from not looking at the difference between each term individually, but separating the numerators and looking at their differences, and then the denominators and their differences. So if you look at the numerator, you can see you got 1, 4, 9, 16. Hopefully you can identify that to be the square numbers. So the numerator will be n squared. What about the denominator? It goes 3, 5, 7, 9. It's gone up in 2s, like the 2 times tables. So it's close to 2n. But remember, the 2 times tables is 2, 4, 6, 8. So this sequence on the denominator is 1 more than the 2 times tables, so it would be 2n plus 1. So that technique is quite useful to separate numerator and denominator to find your answer. This is for your classwork book for a couple of minutes, so do this work in your classwork book. Okay, if you can quickly give these 5 questions a go, and then I'll go through the solutions afterwards, so the answers will be there, but still the video now, do it yourself. Don't spend too long trying to figure them out, but don't just give up either. And yeah, when you scroll through, the answers will be there for you, and explanations if you don't understand. So the first one, it's not going up in equal steps, it's not linear, because it goes up by 3, then 5, then 7, but I can spot that they are 1 more than the square numbers. So if the square numbers are called n squared, they are 1 more than n squared plus 1. The next one, we've got 2, 8, 18, 32. Might be quite hard to spot, but they are double the square numbers. So 1 times 2 is 2, 4 times 2 is 8, 9 times 2 is 18, and 16 times 2 is 32. So that's 2n squared. Next one looks a bit funny. Because the actual answer, the number is not written down, it's written down as multiplication. That's separation there is there on purpose for you to see the rule. So the first number in each term is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's literally just n, the term number. And it's multiplied by 2, 3, 4, 5. And 2, 3, 4, 5, that number is 1 more than n. Remember, n is the term number. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm saying is the first number is always the n. It's always the term number. And then the second number is always 1 more than the term number. So the second number that's been multiplied by would be n plus 1. So you could write that as n plus 1, or you could expand it out. Either of those two answers would be fine, n squared plus n. Number 4, and we'll separate these into numerators and denominators to find the rule. On the numerator, it's going up by 3's, like the 3 times tables. So 3n. And then it's smaller than the 2 times tables. 3, 6, 9, 12. It's 2 less, so it would be 3n minus 2 on the numerator. And the denominator is the 5 times tables. So it would be 5 times the term number, 5n. Number 10, the numerator is quite straightforward. It's not dependent on n, it is always 1. The denominator goes down in ones, or down by 1, I should say. So it's like the negative 1 times tables, negative n. And you'd have, it's 10 more, sorry, it's not, it's 11 more than that. So if you did 11 take away 1, you get 10. 11 take away 2, you get 9. 11 take away 3, you get 8. And 11 take away 4, you get 7. In this example, we have to find the nth term for the number of matchsticks in a pattern. So if you've got a pattern like that, you want to reduce this down to be in a table or some sort of sequence in numbers. So table format, n stands for the pattern number. So the first term or the first pattern, the second term, the second pattern, the third term, the third pattern, and so on. So the answer then, what you generate is the number of matchsticks in the pattern. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matchsticks in the first pattern. And look at how the next ones are generated. This side here is already there. So you're adding on an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there'll be 5 more in the next pattern. And then 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 added on to the next one. So 16. So you can see that that pattern is adding on 5 each time. So 5 times tables does that. 5, 10, 15 goes up in 5s. The 5 times tables is called 5n. 5 multiplied by the term number. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. So this sequence then, 6, 11, 16, would be the 5 times tables, but 1 more. And that is the nth term to find the number of matchsticks in a pattern. You might get some hard questions in this last exercise I asked you to do. Try to get a table down, trying to get values, something looking like this, and then you can go from there.